All right, big news for pro sports teams in New York. Mayor Eric Adams expected to change the city's private sector vaccine mandate to allow exemptions for athletes and entertainers. This per multiple reports. This move obviously clears the way for Kyrie Irving to play in home games in Brooklyn. It'll also allow unvaccinated Yankees and Mets players to play in home games in the Bronx and Queens. The Athletic reports that Kyrie will be eligible to make his home debut Sunday against the Hornets. Let's get some insight. Bring in CBS basketball analyst Avery Johnson, a former Nets coach. Avery, this impacts Kyrie in allowing him to play all the remaining games on the schedule, 7 more than would have been otherwise, 6 home games as well as a matchup at Madison Square Garden. This is a Nets team that had lost 17 of 20. They trade James Harden. Kyrie didn't play at all at the outset of the season, became a part-time player, now a full-time player. How does this news help and impact this team?
Well, it significantly impacts the team because now he's going to be available for home games and also road games. But the main thing is Kyrie Irving is one. You know, he stuck to his beliefs. He wasn't giving in. Kyrie Irving won. The Brooklyn Nets fans won. NBA Nets fans come out on top. And then, like you say, you got to give Mayor Eric Adams credit for making his decision. And I think also, you know, the Mets organization, the Yankees organization, now that they settled their collective bargaining agreement with MLB, I'm sure they had something to do with this decision. But again, for Nets fans all over the world, this is great news. The way Kyrie Irving is putting up numbers, I'm thrilled to see him in uniform full time. And now, Jim, there will be no excuses in terms of if the Nets don't win the championship this year.
Hey, Avery, I'm interested from a coach's standpoint, the idea of continuity. The Nets have pretty much been 2 different teams, with Kyrie, without. How does this help them kind of bring it all together with him in the lineup on a night-in, night-out basis?
Well, it gives him a lot of confidence because if you remember, the Nets were playing pretty good basketball in the playoffs last year, even without James Harden. Things changed when Kyrie Irving went down and Kevin Durant tried to single-handedly wield them to the NBA championship, and they came up short, obviously, in that 7-game series with Milwaukee. But Kyrie Irving, being that extra ball handler, scorer, take pressure off of Kevin Durant. You know, both of these guys can combine for 70 or 80 points on any given night. We also don't know about the wild card yet with Ben Simmons, when he's going to be back. And they have better shooting this year, especially with adding Seth Curry to the mix. So they have the shooting, they have the size. Now, so again, I think this is a situation where the Nets are going to be voted up even higher in terms of the odds to win the NBA championship.
Yep.
I'm still going with Milwaukee out of the East, but this definitely puts the Nets, if healthy, in better position.
So, Avery, I'm sure you didn't envy Steve Nash talking about this subject night in, night out, especially as we started creeping closer and closer to the playoffs. From that standpoint, it's off the conversation list for both Nash, Kevin Durant, and Nets teammates, and now they're able to just focus on winning basketball games. How does that help this team?
Well, it singularly keeps your focus in a narrow-minded sense where it's all about basketball. It's not about vaccine mandates, or it's not about an individual's personal beliefs on why he's not vaccinated, or, when do you expect him to join the team for home games if he is going to join the team, or what's going to happen if he's not available for home games during the 7-game series. All of those things and distractions are off the table. Now you can have a single focus, one, to get Ben Simmons healthy, but 2, your focus could be on finding that chemistry with he and Kevin Durant and the rest of that roster, especially those pieces that came over from Philadelphia. Now get them all for the last 10 games on the same page so you can go into the NBA playoffs with some momentum. And at the rate right now, they're going to be playing in the play-in, so you're not going to have many chances to mess up. You got to win that first game or two so that you can advance.
And as Avery mentioned, that question mark is still Ben Simmons. He's CBS basketball analyst Avery Johnson. Avery, we appreciate the insight.
Thanks a lot.
Again, Kyrie Irving can play the rest of the way for the Brooklyn Nets. And their odds to win the Eastern Conference are plus 275. So they're at the top of the list. This despite the fact that, as Avery mentioned, this team right now slated to play in the play-in tournament. But getting Kyrie back obviously impacts their ability to win games at a high level.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.